What if World War II never happened? Imagine a world where the events that led to the most devastating conflict in human history were somehow averted. The 1930s were a decade of great uncertainty and upheaval, with economic depression and political instability casting long shadows over Europe and beyond. But what if that precipice crumbled, and the world stepped back from the abyss? Imagine the relief, the collective sigh of a world spared from the horrors of war. This is the alternate history we'll explore, a world where the dogs of war never barked, and the battlefields remained empty. Without World War II to weaken them, the European colonial powers might have held on to their empires for longer. The war drained their resources, both human and material, and left them vulnerable to the rising tide of independence movements. The wave of decolonization that swept the globe in the mid-20th century might have been delayed, or taken a different form. The fervor for self-determination was unstoppable, but without the war's catalyst, the process could have been slower and more violent. The United States, its economy not bolstered by wartime production, might not have ascended to superpower status as quickly. The war effort had transformed the American economy, leading to unprecedented industrial growth and technological advancements. The post-war world order, with the US and Soviet Union as the dominant players, would likely not exist. The geopolitical landscape would be vastly different, with other nations potentially rising to prominence in the absence of the Cold War's binary opposition. This is not to say that the world would be more just, only that the power dynamics would be reshaped. The struggle for dominance would still be present, but the players and the rules of the game would be different. The Cold War, that ideological struggle that defined the latter half of the 20th century, might be replaced by a different kind of geopolitical chess match. Instead of capitalism versus communism, we might see conflicts driven by other ideologies or economic interests, leading to a world that is both familiar and alien to us today. The economic tapestry threads unwoven. The economic consequences of a world without World War II are perhaps the most difficult to predict. The war, for all its horrors, also spurred technological innovation and economic growth. The United States, without the war to pull it out of the Great Depression, might have experienced a longer period of economic hardship. The Marshall Plan, which helped rebuild war-torn Europe and fueled global trade, would never have been implemented. Germany, its industry not shattered by bombing campaigns, might have emerged as a dominant economic force in Europe. Japan, too, could have continued its rapid economic growth, potentially rivaling the United States in technological prowess. Social progress, a different drumbeat. World War II had a profound impact on social movements, particularly the civil rights movement in the United States. The war, with its emphasis on fighting for freedom and democracy abroad, exposed the hypocrisy of racial segregation at home. Without the war as a catalyst, the struggle for civil rights might have been longer and more arduous. The same could be said for other social movements, such as the fight for women's rights and LGBTQ+ equality. The war also led to significant advances in medicine, technology, and communication. While some of these advancements might still have occurred, their pace and trajectory might have been different. The technological landscape innovations altered trajectory. The crucible of war often forges technological advancements at a breakneck pace. During World War II, the urgency of conflict drove nations to innovate rapidly, leading to groundbreaking developments that might have taken decades under peacetime conditions. World War II gave birth to radar, jet engines, and other pivotal technologies. These innovations not only changed the course of the war, but also laid the foundation for future advancements in various fields. And the first electronic computers, innovations that would shape the post-war world. The development of these early computers marked the beginning of the digital age, revolutionizing how information was processed and shared. Without the urgent demands of war, these technologies might have emerged more gradually. The pressure of wartime necessity accelerated their development, pushing scientists and engineers to achieve what might have otherwise been considered impossible. The digital revolution, for example, might have been delayed, its transformative impact on society unfolding at a slower, more measured pace. This could have allowed for a more gradual adaptation to new technologies, potentially easing the societal disruptions that often accompany rapid technological change. Its impact on society less sudden, and perhaps more manageable. The rapid integration of digital technology into everyday life brought both opportunities and challenges, reshaping industries and altering the fabric of society in profound ways. The absence of the Cold War, with its relentless technological arms race, could have led to a greater focus on peaceful applications of science and technology. Instead of channeling vast resources into military advancements, nations might have prioritized innovations that directly benefited humanity. Imagine a world where the resources poured into nuclear weapons were instead directed towards renewable energy or space exploration. Such a shift in focus could have accelerated progress in these areas, potentially leading to a more sustainable and interconnected world. Conclusion: a world unfamiliar. The world without World War II is a world both familiar and profoundly different. It is a world where the great powers might have remained locked in a different kind of struggle, where the march of social progress might have been slower, and where the technological landscape might have unfolded at a different pace. It is, of course, impossible to know for certain what might have been. But by exploring these alternate histories, we can gain a deeper understanding of the forces that shape our world and the choices that lie before us. We are, after all, the inheritors of the past, but we are also the architects of the future.